much good to talk about tonight, but we're going to talk about it. What's going on, Born for Sports? Salute to New York Giant Nation. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that like, and most importantly, you smash that subscribe button to Born for Sports. Well, what can I say? A straight ass whipping from the moment they lined up for the first play. The New England Patriots, they showed they were the better team and the more physical team. And this was all three phases tonight. This I could legitimately say as a Giant fan. And look, it ain't been a good season at all. It's been some glimpses of hope here and there, but the results are the results. But I can firmly say without even a debate that this was the first time that, number one, I saw them on all three phases get outplayed, whether it be offense, defense, and specials. Okay? Totally outplayed tonight. And this is also the first game I could say that they flat out quit in that first half. They tapped out in that first half. No doubt about it in my mind. No doubt about it. The Patriots got onto a 30-7 lead at the half. Okay, and it wasn't even that close. It really didn't even feel that close, honestly. Honestly. And it sucks because it's national TV, nationally televised game, and the return of Jackson Dart, as the Giants get blown out tonight, 33-15 by the Patriots to drop to 2-11. Once again, they're playing out the string. A lot of changes are coming in the offseason, hopefully from the very tip top to the bottom, as the foundation's already cracked and crumbling as we speak. The coaching staff, we know what happened. Brian Dable's gone. They finally got rid of that stiff Shane Bowen last week. I see nothing improved, nothing different than what we were running tonight. A couple of blitzes here and there in certain situations, but other than that, nothing much to really talk about from Bullen, whatever his name is. He ain't really do much to really make me think like, wow, they're really doing something different tonight. No, none of that. So we know what the deal is. So you kind of go into this game. And I know for me personally as a Giant fan, okay, I came into this game. I didn't expect us to win this game tonight. I'm not saying that I did. That would be kind of foolish for me to say that. And y'all know me. I let y'all know what I feel from the get, whether in the heart, here, wherever. Okay, I didn't feel like we were going to win this game, but I did feel like we would compete in this game, and we did not compete tonight. They didn't compete tonight. They didn't have an interest in hitting back when they got out physical. Okay, it was that bad. They got hit in the mouth and said, "Not tonight, y'all. Not tonight." That's what I saw from this defense. Okay. Now, the offense, they show a glimpse here and a glimpse there, but nothing crazy. This was definitely Jackson Dart's first game returning since coming back from the concussion, okay? So you would think there would be a little rust there. He hasn't played in a couple of weeks, okay? Patriots have a good, solid defense. They're good at what they do. Vrabel has them playing. They're very sound up front. They got an all-world I think one of the most underrated corners in football in Christian Gonzalez, okay? And we all know the Giants, they don't have enough weapons out there to support the quarterback like that. So it's basically got to be, coach up some schemes, some stuff up. We didn't see none of that good tonight either, okay? Let's hit the chat real quick. My guy, Money Mike, salute, Money Mike. What's going on, bro? What's going on? Salute, brother. Yeah. Straight ass whipping tonight, bro. They didn't even compete tonight enough for me. The defense looked like they had no interest in hitting back at all. I mean, Drake May just was out there doing whatever he wanted. And honestly, coming into the game, I was more worried about the run game. If we were going to stop the run game, they didn't even need that tonight. Honestly. And we're going to get to some things about what I heard on the telecast that has me very disappointing in this defense, especially Abdul Carter. I'm very disappointed in him. No doubt about it. Joshua the Boss 25. Salute, Josh. Checks in, putting up the clown emojis. Joe Shane is a fraud and he must be fired. Josh, I'm with you. Fire him right now. I've been saying this for a while. They are a package deal to me with Brian Dable. This buffoonery that the media is being fed by the giant little cronesies out there in the organization, doing them back channels, feeding them little hit to the media, a little here and there about we want to keep Joe Shane. And even though we know the fans don't care, he actually helped us modernize how we do business. I don't give a damn about none of that. The guy has not done a good enough job to go forward picking this new coach. We need a new voice and a new regime. Is the roster a little more talented than it's been in the last couple of years? Yeah, but we're still not where we need to be. And he's had 4 years to fix the roster. It's still not fixed. Okay? But, the New York Giant organization doing what they do, called John Mara, always with the trying to have the GM outlast the coaches all the time, even though, which is be even more despicable because the coach came along with this GM who picked the coach, but yet he gets to stay. It is mind-boggling how stupid this conversation is right now and shouldn't even be happening, man. Honestly speaking. Let's see. Money Mike says, what you want to do with our first round pick, man? Honestly, I'm looking at first round pick, Mike. I'm looking at 2 things. Okay. Now, 3 things, I should say. And the number one thing for me is if we're picking high enough, I'm trying to trade back and gather a lot of picks so that way, we are set future assets and more picks at the table to go out and go build the roster up and fill needs that we need to fill. That's my number one priority as a Giant fan. I want to trade back. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Usually the only time we get trade back scenarios in the draft is for a quarterback, unless you're the stupid, moronic Jacksonville Jaguars who traded a boatload to get Travis Hunter. Okay. Other than that, that's like a anomaly. It's about quarterbacks. So the quarterback class isn't really set to be that serious, but they said that last year. And look what we got. We got our quarterback. So it only takes that one quarterback to either show out in the combine and in front of scouts' eyes. And it only takes that one team that's willing to risk it all to get it. I'm trying to trade back. That is my number one priority in the draft. I want to trade back. No doubt about it. Man. You know what I'm saying? And, there's a couple of teams that are going to be quarterback hungry. There's going to be a few teams that are going to be quarterback hungry. And if we are in that scenario where we can trade back, whoever the GM is, I hope it isn't Joe Shane making that call. Whoever it is, but if it is, the Giants should be doing that first priority. If they are unable to trade back, I want either, number one, a wide receiver. I want Jordan Tyson or Carnell Tate. That's what I want. One of those 2 guys. Okay? One of those 2 guys. And if you go defense, listen, I'm looking at corner, even though I don't think it's that strong a class for the corners in the first round to pick that high. I'm looking at Ruben Bain. He's a guy. Woods, the DT from Clemson. There's some options, but I want a playmaker for Jackson Dart. That's what I want. I want a playmaker for him. Neighbors is coming off an injury next year, and we got to have some weapons. Wandell's a free agent. That Stiff Slayton was still on the hook with his contract, that foolish contract, unless we're able to trade him. So that's where I'm at, bro. But a long way to go. We'll see how it goes, brother. We'll see. Josh also says after how that free agency negotiations was handled with Saquon, I would have fired him on the spot. I dig it, man. I mean, listen, hindsight is 2020. You know, Saquon ain't having that good a year this year, but hey, he went to a rival last year, got his ring, had 2,000 yards. It is what it is. I really was more mad that we lost McKinney. That was really where I was at, because I looked at Xavier McKinney as he was just on the threshold of becoming a great defensive player. But it is what it is. My whole thing with Joe Schoen is this. It's the drafts for me, the first couple of years, man. It's too many misses and a lot of first round pick misses. You know, you can go down the table, you know, and there isn't anybody that really stands out. And you like, man, he really in those first 2 years, man, he really drafted a franchise cornerstone, you know. Even Kayvon, who I like Kayvon a lot, but he's got injury issues the last couple of years. And even though I like him and I want to keep him, you know, for a certain number, he hasn't stood out either as a cornerstone piece yet either. You know what I mean? Look at Evan Neal, bust. You know, Deonte Banks, bust. He was a first-round pick. You know, Wan'Dale Robinson, he's having a real solid year. I'm happy what I've seen with the progress of him, but I'm not sure if I'm comfortable paying him the money he's looking for, especially after that Slayton contract we just gave, which I'm more to blame on that. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of misses. Look at all the offensive linemen he's missed in the first 2 years of the draft. It's been bad, bro. It's been bad, and that's where I'm more at it with him. And he picked, and he just didn't make the right decisions. Every decision that he tried to make that was tough backfired on him every time. You know, it just isn't good enough for me. And you are what your record says you are. If you're gonna get rid of the coach, you got to get rid of the GM when they both came from the same place at the same time. Just me. But hey, John Mara, his wizardry is gonna ruin it again. We know it. We know it. Salute to my guy Marvin checking in. He says, I feel your pain, bro. Bro, at this point, I'm numb. I'm really numb. I'm really just over this season, bro. I'm just trying to get to the finish line. We 2-10. We were coming in 2-10. New coaching staff to come. I know these stiffs ain't going to be here. You know, the only one that I'm really enthused to keep is Carmen Brasillo, our offensive line coach. You know what I mean? So, and I like him. I think he's probably our best coach on the staff. Kafka hasn't really bothered me until tonight, and I'm going to get into in a moment why he bothered me tonight. But for the most part, none of these guys are going to be here, so I'm already over. I'm just trying to get to the finish line with all these rumors of candidates and so forth, you know. So I'm just trying to get there, bro. That's where I'm at with it. Josh says John Mara is the main reason why this team is failing. No doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. I mean, listen, I don't doubt that John Mara cares. He does care about winning, but the problem is he don't know how to pick the right leaders. He don't know how to. This team has no leadership in the locker room, which is to do with the GM and the coaching staff that we had that just got fired as well. But Joe Schoen, that's on Joe Schoen. You know what I'm saying? None of these players have shown leadership. None of them. You know what I mean? And our coaching staff, clearly, they weren't leaders and they weren't good. After Dable's first year, they figured out what he's trying to do. He never got a chance to do it. All he did was point fingers at everyone else's for a while. First, it was Wink Martindale's fault. How stupid was that? Now look, Shane Bowen was you basically let him leave for Shane Bowen, who's the worst defensive coordinator in the league. That didn't work out. And look what's going on. Come on, man. I'm done with it. I'm just done with it. John Mara does not know how to pick the right leaders to fix this organization problem. And until he does, he has not recovered after Coughlin was let go. He hasn't recovered. It's been 2 years of, fool's gold playoff appearances. Basically what happened, Ben McApoop, that schmuck, okay, he had one good year this first year when he took over. When they went all out of free agency for him, when they could have did the same with Coughlin, and then the following year he showed his true colors, how stupid he was. He was terrible. Dable's first year, outkicked our coverage, took advantage of a soft schedule, and got the job done. It was a fun year that year, a year I will never forget. But it won a playoff game and everything. But he changed after that year. Everything changed with how he coached, with his scheme. Everything changed, man. Some guys are just not meant to be head coaches. They're better off being coordinators, man. And Brian Dable, right now, that's the tier he's in until maybe one day he'll get another shot at it and learn from his mistakes. But, hey, you can't argue with the results, man. John Mara just cannot get this right. He's hired Dave ever since Coughlin got let go. Okay, because Jerry Reese was not John Mara's GM. That was his father's GM. That was appointed by Ernie Accorsi. Okay, he picked Dave Gettleman after that. That was brutal. He picked Joe Judge the coach. He picked Pat Shermer as a coach. Brian Dable was the wrong choice as well. He just can't get that part right, man. He just can't get that part right. And was incredibly loyal to Daniel Jones for too long. And yes, Daniel Jones is having a solid year this year in Indianapolis. All power to him. But clearly, he couldn't get right over here. And he was always hurt as well up here. So, instead of paying Saquon, he basically forced the Giants' hand, Shane, to sign Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley. Another story for another day. It is what it is, man. Unfortunate. Money Mike said, yeah, I agree. Let's get a haul. Yeah, man, we got to get a haul. If we can get a haul, and I like your comment here. I'm about to post up too. Yeah, Jets and Raiders. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I would love to, especially the Jets, because the Jets, they made some moves. They basically swindled the Colts out of 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. Got some draft capital for Quentin Williams. They got some capital, man, and if we're in position and we can get and they can get up to where they want to come up and they're willing to talk turkey, let's do it. I'm in. That's what I want to see. The Raiders as well. The Raiders are a team. What else? What else team am I thinking of? Maybe even the Rams. The Rams know Stafford is getting long in the tooth, and they have the Atlanta Falcons draft pick. That's another team you got to watch, especially if they get the guy that I'm looking at as one of the top candidates that I think will be a good fit for the New York Giants, Chris Shula. If he ends up becoming the head coach of the New York Giants, I could see a situation that maybe McVay says, you know what, unless Snead says, hey, let's go get our young quarterback now. Stafford is getting long in the tooth. We could win with Stafford, and we'll just bring the kid along whenever Stafford's ready to go. I can see that happening. Hey, you never know. There's a lot of teams that are going to be looking for quarterbacks. They're looking for quarterbacks. And again, it only takes that one team, man. But yes, bro, I'm definitely looking at those teams as well, especially the Jets. Our new DC needs to put Abdul in position to succeed. He has not lived up to the third overall pick. Yeah, I am very disappointing, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, man. I'm very disappointed in Abdul Carter. Very, very disappointed. For what I heard today, that again, getting benched for another situation for disciplinary action, because this time I believe they said he missed a walkthrough. I'm sorry, Abdul Carter. I love your talent. I support you being drafted as a Giant. I did. I'm all in on his talent. I think he still has a chance to be a very, very, very good player in this league. But you got to fix this attitude. Get your shit together, man. Come on. Come on now. I'm not trying to hear this rookie shit no more. It's week 3rd fucking team, bro. Why are you missing me? Why you keep on? Now, listen, I get it. You probably like, you know what? This season is shit. You're mad with the coaching staff, how they're using you this year. I get it. But you still got to behave as a professional, bro. It's a bad look, man. It looks like you don't give a fuck. Like, you're just like, I don't care. I just want to get to the end of the season. Even if that's how you feel, young man, you can't show that. And another thing, what's the leadership on this team, man? What's up with the locker room? No one in this locker room. There's no leaders in this locker room, y'all. There's no leaders in this locker room to police this shit. After the first incident, okay, that he got reprimanded for that, this should have been nipped right there. Right there. And obviously it wasn't, because look what happens again. Another thing. Okay. I'll give Kafka credit for disciplining him, but why is now that he takes over, he's starting to do this frequently now? Now, I don't know when Dable was here, this was an ongoing thing, and that he just tolerated and let him get away with it. Well, you know what? If he did, another strike against Brian Dable, why he not here no more? But I'm looking at the player here. Okay, Abdul, you got to be better than that, man. Come on now. I get it. You're frustrated with losing. I get it. You're frustrated with the way you've been using this wretched, trash defensive scheme that he had to play in this year. I get it. But you got to show up there for your teammates and ball, bro. You can't be doing these things, man. This is terrible. Why do we have to hear about this? You getting benched in the first quarter again. This time for the entire quarter. Now, when he got in, he got his first full sack in the NFL. Whatever. I'm not impressed, because now my focus on there is what you did, why you didn't play the first quarter. Now, I don't even care you had that sack. I don't care. I need you to give a damn about this, man. I need it. I don't see Jackson start doing that. I haven't heard anything about anybody else on the rookie class doing these type of things, getting in trouble for tardiness, not being into walkthroughs and all of this. I don't hear about no one else. And you're the third overall pick in the NFL draft last season. Okay? I believe in you as a player, but this attitude you got to get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not going to act like I like that. No, you got to be better than that. Okay? You still got a lot to prove in this league, bro. A whole lot. Okay? A whole lot to prove. For you to be taking these things for granted like this, getting reprimanded for this? Bro, you haven't proved nothing. You have proved nothing. Nothing. Don't show me no prima donna shit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear none of that. Okay? This was an opportunity tonight. You should have been salivating. They don't even have their starting left tackle this week. Okay? You should have been ready, chomping at the bit to show out on national TV, to show out the kind of player you are. What's going on? Where is the leadership on this team in the locker room? Kafka, yeah, you gave him disciplinary, but this is on your watch. This is yet another check why I don't want nobody on this coaching staff back besides Brasillo. This is another one. And this is another check on the leadership in the locker room. Dexter Lawrence, what's up? Where you at? You the veteran of the group. You the all-pro. Get on his ass. Now, I don't know if there's anything been said that was said, after the game about it, but come on now. Come on. Brian Burns, I know he cares. I know that. Brian Burns cares. Okay, which is not something I could say with the rest of the defensive effort out there in that first half. I know he cares. But what's going on in that locker room? What is going on? This team has quit on this coaching staff, no doubt about it, and they are playing to the string. Now, in the second half, I guess they showed a little more heart, but it looked more to me that the Patriots took the foot off the gas in the second half. Okay? They took the foot off the gas. All right? The Patriot defense, they were taking hit. They was out there hitting. They were out there hitting. Okay? They were real physical tonight. Real physical tonight. Okay? And shout out, and by the way, two things. I'm going to get to Jackson Dart in a minute. Shout out to the offensive line and shout out to Theo Johnson sticking up for their quarterback, okay, when he was taking those vicious hits, okay? Even though I still say that on that play, he's got to protect himself better. You know, Jackson Dart just has to protect himself better on that sideline. But clearly, the Patriot defense wanted to make a statement and be physical with Jackson Dart every time they can. They were trying to knock him out the game. You could see it. The hits they were trying to give, every time they had an opportunity, they took it. They were trying to knock him out the game. And Jackson Dart has to realize that, man. He's got to protect himself better and realize that he has to be out there for his team. I'm not saying take away the aggressiveness and the heart that he plays with. I love all of that, not just the physical attributes he brings and stuff like that, but you got to play smarter. You got to know when to fight another play. That's all. That's all. But clearly, the Patriot defense was trying to make a statement within the rules. I didn't think it was any dirty hits or anything like that. But I think they did what they were supposed to do, is toe the line, the fine line of being physical and over the line. And they did it to a T. And the Giant offensive line and Theo Johnson got pissed off and stuck up for their quarterback and hit back. Okay? They hit back. The defense should have been like, you know what? You want to hit our quarterback? Let's go fucking hunt that bastard. Let's go after their quarterback. I didn't see none of that in the first half. I didn't see none of that. Nobody hit nobody. It was almost like they were just out there to be out there. They did whatever's going on. It's like, whatever, man. Whatever. 5 more games. That's troubling to me. That is troubling to me. Okay? They don't believe in the scheme, and they didn't even care enough about what was going on in the game to do something about it on their end. Because, I mean, you could call me a little old school, but I remember back in the days when the New York Giants were the New York Giants, not this fuckery I'm just seeing for the last 12 years. When they were the New York Giants, you hit our quarterback, we're going to take your quarterback out. Simple as that. We're going to even them odds. Whether it was back when L.T. Banks and Pepper Johnson and Eric Howard and Leonard Marshall and those guys were playing back in the day. I know it's a lot. Some of y'all might be like, who? Yeah, I'm that old when it comes to the New York Giants. I can bring it back more closer to this century, okay? Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan, O.C. Umanura, Kiwanuka, Fred Robbins, Barry Cofield, Antrell Roll, okay? Those guys, you do something to Eli Manning, they coming for your ass. They coming for that team's quarterback. Believe that. I didn't see none of that. And that's unfortunate. Okay? That's unfortunate. That has to change. And this is why this coaching staff cannot be brought back. They can't. We need to clean this out from the GM to this whoever's left on this staff. And I'm not mad at Mike Kafka, but I'm over this staff. I'm sorry. Collateral damage, bro. You a part of it. The only one I'm bringing back is Brasillo. If Kafka wants to come back as an offensive coordinator for the next coach, and it doesn't interfere with what the coach is, like if they're an offensive-minded coach, if it doesn't bump heads, then we can talk about it. We can talk about it. But I want to be done with this. Done. That's just me. God bless Mara and health. He is a horrible owner, though. Hey, listen, you can't argue with the results the last 12 years, man. That's for sure. I'm fed up with this team. Carmen Brissell is the only, that's the only guy. He has done a tremendous job with this New York Giant offensive line. Okay, now having the great All-Pro Andrew Thomas back healthy is a big deal as well. And Illuminor has done a great job here, who I want to re-sign next year. You think about JMS with his erratic play. He's actually showed a little growth the last few weeks. Okay. Runyon, I'm still not in love with, but he's been adequate. Van Roen has been adequate, but he's long in the tooth and might be looking at retirement, or if anything, I'm open to bringing him back as a depth piece, just not a starter next year. So that part the interior has to get improved, and I want to bring back Illuminor. But salute and shout out to Carmen Brasillo, who has shown me he's as good an offensive line coach as there is in football. Okay. And I already knew about him when he was with the Raiders. Okay. When he was with the Raiders for a few years. But seeing firsthand him here to deal with the shit he's been having to deal with the first 2 years, salute to that man. I want Carmen Brasillo back. I really do. I think he's amongst the best at his position in the league. We need to think about doing that. But as far as Jackson Dart's performance tonight, nothing crazy, was nothing spectacular, honestly. It was really a pedestrian type of performance tonight. The Patriots had a very good plan. Obviously they have the coaching advantage tonight with Vrabel and McDaniels versus Mike Kafka and Bullen or whatever. They had a very good game plan. And, there was definitely some rust with Jackson Dart tonight, as you would expect, being out for 2 weeks from a concussion. So there was some rust tonight. He did miss. He was a little late on some receivers and stuff. Theo Johnson, he's made some really good strides as a receiver the last, I would say, 5 weeks. But he always has that one play during the game when you're just like, damn it, man, why did you not catch that ball? And it was a play in this game. He could have caught the ball, caught a touchdown, and the ball went right through his hands. It wasn't an easy catch. It wasn't an easy catch, but a play that has to be made for your quarterback. Dart put it right there, and it went right through his hands. Like the ball went right through his hands. You got to catch that. You got to catch that, bro. Jackson Dart had a pedestrian game, but I also feel like I don't like the way Kafka coached tonight, y'all. I don't. He was very conservative with the game plan. And I understand you don't want to run Dart too many run plays. That's fine with me. But the game plan was so vanilla and so conservative for me. I mean, we ran the ball way too much for a team down 30-7. I'm sorry. Okay? And it just kept snowballing. And, the turning point of the game for me, and the reason why I'm bringing all of this up, you know what I mean, is the turning point of the game for me is this: the cool botch field goal attempt. And I lost my shit in the house when I saw this because first of all, the Giants special teams was atrocious tonight. They gave up on the second drive of the game. They gave up a 94-yard punt return to Jones that made it 10-0, right? So you're like, what the hell, man? We're already down 10-0. We battle back. Dart takes us down the field, makes a nice play to Slayton. A Slayton sighting tonight, y'all, by the way. Unbelievable. He gives us like once a month. He'll show up for a game. He actually showed up a little tonight. He caught Dart made a nice play on a good play call by Kafka, probably the best play call he made all night. And Dart threw it right to him. And Slate, a perfectly accurate slant, and he took it to the house 30 yards for a touch. So we get to win 17-7. The defense actually got to stop, make them punt. We get the ball back, and we're driving, and okay, the drive stalls, but a makeable field goal attempt, and you say to yourself, you know what? We make this field goal. We were down 17-9. We cut it to a 17-10 lead. Man, we're in business. We're back in this game. And what happens? What happens? Cool. With the most stupidest play, he gets his foot. He misses a step and just totally full bars the kick, and he doesn't even get a leg off. He just, for some reason, it looked like he just kicked the ball too early and he spiked his foot right in front of the football. Turnover on downs as Gilliam gets tackled. And that was the game right there. That was the turning point of the game for me. Because after that, it was a snowball effect. The Giants never recovered. They tapped out after that. They tapped out. The defense just Jackson Dart, you can see his face is disappointed. Like, I can't believe this shit happened. He actually messed that field goal attempt up. He didn't even get the kick up. Just a terrible performance by the special teams tonight. And Cool, honestly, should be cut behind that shit. But you know what? We don't got any kickers anyway. So what's the point? Just ridiculous. I don't know what it is. The New York Giants are cursed with kicker special team problems. Whether it's Gano constantly getting hurt mid-game without a plan to back him up and leave us stranded. Okay. And now Cool does this nonsense. Who after was a McNamara or whatever his name is, who couldn't kick a field goal to save his life, who should have never even been in the NFL. Okay. They go to him, and then after his garbage, him shanking every extra point, costing us games and kicks. Now we finally go to Cool. He has 2 decent games, and what happens? He does this shit. That to me was the turning point of the game. Just another thing the Giants do to embarrass themselves on national freaking TV, man. Unbelievable that he did that bullshit. I lost my mind in the house. I lost my mind. I put my Modelo down. I said, you know what? I've had enough of this shit. I had enough of this shit. Why is it that every kicker puts on a Giant uniform, something shitty, embarrassing, or messed up happens to them? It's ridiculous. It really is, man. Can't make this shit up. That was my turning point of the game, y'all. That was my turning point of the game, and that was all she wrote after that. Everything snowballed after that, okay? And then the Giants, the Patriots, I should say, got up to a 30-7 halftime lead, and that was the end. That was it. That was it. But I want to say this. I really did not like the game plan tonight. I did not like it. I did not like it. I thought we ran the ball way too much. And I understand, okay, that you can't just make it one-dimensional. I get that. I understand sticking with it when it's working, but it wasn't working. It really wasn't working in the first half, man. It really wasn't. We were in third and longs the entire first half, okay? And then the conservativeness, not going for it on 4th and 1 down 30-14. I mean, how many times did Kafka punt and just like a cowardly lion on 4th and 1, and he has Dart go up there and he tries to only draw them off sides on a 4th and 1. And then it's delay again, we punt. And I saw Jackson Dart was not happy with that play call. He wanted to go for it. Kafka turning into the cowardly lion. I mean, what are we doing out here? I'm done with the whole Kafka experience. Please, Giant Nation, do not talk to me about Mike Kafka staying here as the head coach to take over, okay? I don't want to hear it no more. I am shutting that down. I want nothing to do with it, okay? He looked like he was in over his head tonight, okay? It looked like he was more concerned about protecting Jackson Dart than winning the fucking football game or getting back in the football game to win the football game. Too much conservative play calling, okay? And very conservative, not going for it when he's supposed to go for it on 4th downs. It's 30-7. What are we doing? Yeah, I'm done with Kafka. I'm done with it. Don't talk to me about Mike Kafka as head coach of this football team going forward. We're done with that. Okay? And I don't give a damn if he wins the next 5 games. I don't care. I want nothing to do with Mike Kafka as the head coach of this team for the future. Nothing to do with it. Okay? Because I know what's going to happen. The schedule's going to soften up. The Giants are going to probably win a couple of games, and then we're going to start hearing, the little feelers out there from the Giants contingent trying to feed the media to test the fan base temperature. Hey, maybe we got something with Mike Kafka. We won a couple of meaningless games. A story as end as time. A story as old as time. The New York Football Giants owner, John Mara, Tish, valuing meaningless wins. I have seen this movie before. A couple of meaningless wins, and they'll keep. We won a couple of games, guys. It's fine. We're better. We're better. We're better than our record. Let's keep Joe Shane because we're comfortable with him. Let's keep Mike Capco because we know him. I don't want nothing to do with that shit. I don't. So honestly, I don't care if we win every game left. I want a new regime intact. This is not it. And that is the bottom line for me. I don't want nothing to do with it. Don't talk to me about none of this nonsense about, continuity for Dart. I don't want to hear that. Because if it was all about continuity for Dart, you would have kept Brian Dable. So once you got rid of Brian Dable, the continuity stuff has to go out the window. It can't be half-ass. And that's what the New York Giants like to do. They like to half-ass putting Band-Aids on wounds that need to be surgically repaired. That is the problem with this organization. They can't do it this time. Not this time. I'm not for it. I'm not for it. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, y'all. Just wanted to check in real quick. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to check in with y'all and tell y'all how I'm feeling tonight. And salute to everybody. Next game will not be next week because it is a bye week. Week 14, we finally go a week without seeing the Giants lose a game. They won't win a game, but they won't lose it. Well, prepared to see all the trolling and the jokes about the bye week is favored, the point spread for the bye week to defeat the New York Football Giants. So prepare to see all that online. But the New York Giants with the late bye this year, they have a bye week next week. So no football game. So there will be no post game next week. And then the following week, they'll be, playing the Commanders at home. I will be there. I will be at that game. The New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders at home in week 15. I will be there. So there will be a post game on the following day, most likely Monday night. But hey, that's going to do it, y'all. That's going to do it. Another tough one. Tonight was the first time that I could definitely say the New York Giants quit this season in a game. Okay, they've competed every other time, but this was a tap out situation in the first half. They tried to fight a little bit. They showed a little more fight in the second half, but the game was already decided. Cosmetic, and plus New England Patriots. Hey, give them respect. They're the better team. They're going places. They're on their way to the number 1 seed, and they play like it, man. They out-physicaled the Giants. They did what they had to do, and Giants didn't hit back. Simple as that. They didn't hit back, and they were the better team today. Simple as that. And I'm giving them respect because I'm looking at them in this way, and I've said this a few times with people that know me, okay, and in general on my socials and on this channel. I look at the New England Patriots, what they did, being a terrible team for the last few years since Brady left them. Okay, what did they do? They got their quarterback. They recognized the issue last year with the quarterback developing. They did something they knew they were going to take heat for, and they fired their coach. Okay, and they did it for Mike Vrabel, an established coach who knows what he's doing, and they knew they were going to take heat for it. Okay, they got Josh McDaniels back over there, and now look where they're at. This is what the New York Giants need to take that kind of a stance. They have to go find the right coach, and I don't want to hear it's got to be offense, they got a defense. I'm at this point, find the right guy. I don't care what's their specialty. Find the right guy, and whether it's an offensive-minded coach or a defensive-minded coach, they have to get the right coordinators and the right leader to lead this quarterback development and this locker room. Clearly, there is no leadership in this locker room. There is no leadership at the top, and there's no leadership with holding the clipboards either. So they got to find that guy. Now, as weeks go by, we're going to hear rumors of this guy and that guy. It's too late to speculate. But, man, I'm keeping an eye on Pittsburgh. I'm keeping an eye. Those Steeler fans don't know what they're missing, man. They don't realize what they have until they lose it. And if Mike Tomlin gets free, you got to know that you got to figure the Giants are going to at least have a conversation with him. But that's a story for another day. That's just one guy. But the Giants need to find the right leader to change the culture and of losing in this locker room that's been here way too long. Way too long. No more of this goody-goody stuff, getting walked over. They need the guy that's going to command the locker room, whether it be a first-year head coach or a veteran head coach. Get the right guy. And still a few more weeks to see how it's going to go. But, man, it's a slog to the finish. We'll see what happens going forward. So that's going to do it. Giants get blown out by the Patriots 33-15 to drop to 2-11. And that will do it for this week. Salute to everybody out there that joined me on the show tonight. I know it's a late night, so I appreciate all you guys still coming through, chopping it up with me. You know, no matter what, I'm in the car, y'all. I'm in the car. Win or lose, we taking this ride together. We taking this ride either to the finish line or off the cliff. But I'm in the car, and so are you. And I appreciate all of you out there rocking with me tonight. So that'll do it. Shout out to New York Giant Nation, to everybody out there that chopped it up with me. I just asked one thing from y'all. One simple thing if you haven't done it already. Smash that subscribe button to Born for Sports because, folks, I talk all sports. As you can see, big-time New York Giant fan, another loss, heading to the finish line. Was it 5 more weeks to go? Let's see where the ride takes us, y'all. I talk New York Knicks basketball, those first-place New York Knicks, those title-contending New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson just getting, Player of the Month for the Eastern Conference. This team is gelling. They have some injuries they're dealing with, but they're still gelling, still figuring out that system of Mike Brown. Keep it locked, Knick Nation. More content to come real soon. Can't wait for that. Let's go Knicks, baby. I talk New York Mets baseball, and I just saw tonight the New York Mets have signed Devin Williams to a 3-year deal, okay? And I was a little nervous about this because I said, oh, God, please don't tell me they have moved on from Edwin Diaz. Well, there is plenty of reports tonight. The New York Mets are actually actively trying to still re-sign Edwin Diaz, and that Devin Williams signed that contract with the New York Mets knowing there's a chance that he will be the 8th inning setup guy, and he is not mad about that. Whew, that would be pretty good, a little 8, 9 inning action. So let's see what David Stearns do. David Stearns got a lot of work to do, and I got my eye on him. There ain't going to be no excuses for me for David Stearns. He better improve this roster, especially after trading Nemo. So let's go. New York Mets baseball soon being talked about. The winter meetings is coming. We will do a winter meetings live stream very soon for all baseball fans of any team. Keep it locked. I'll let y'all know when that's taking off. So that'll do it. Salute to everybody out there. Like and subscribe to Born for Sports. Let's go Giants.